The encounter, the space station was dead. Its metal walls were broken. Lights blinked weakly and the sound of silence echoed through every dark hallway. It had once been a research station, full of life. Now, it floated alone in deep space. Cold, forgotten, and dangerous. Leo stepped carefully over a cracked floor panel. His oxygen was low. His boots made soft sounds with every step. He had sent a signal for help hours ago, but no one had answered. He was alone. Or so he thought. He held a small light in one hand and a scanner in the other. The scanner beeped. Once, something was nearby. Not a person, not a creature, but something. His light stopped on a strange shape in the corner of a hallway. It looked like a body, half covered in dust and metal pieces. Leo slowly walked closer, heart beating fast. "Is this a robot?" he whispered to himself. It was. A humanoid robot, shaped almost like a woman. Her arms were thin, with silver joints. Her legs were broken, one half torn off. Her face was part metal, part synthetic skin. Her eyes were closed. Leo kneeled beside her. "Why would someone leave you here?" He touched the metal near her shoulder. It was warm. Suddenly, a soft sound came from her chest, a pulse. Her eyes opened. They glowed with soft blue light. Leo jumped back, but she didn't move. She stared at him. He raised his hands. "It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you." The robot looked around slowly, then back at Leo. Her voice was soft, broken, but clear. "Who are you?" Leo took a breath. "My name is Leo. I crashed here. I don't know how to fix this place, nor myself." The robot blinked. Silence passed between them. Then she tried to sit up. Her arm failed. Leo helped her gently, pulling a metal beam off her side. The robot made no sound of pain, but her fingers gripped his arm tightly. She looked at him again. Her voice was clearer, now. "You helped me." Leo gave a small smile. "Yeah. Well, you looked like you needed it." He reached into his bag and pulled out a small water pack. He didn't know if she could even drink, but he placed it near her mouth out of habit. She didn't drink, but she touched the pack. She held it for a second like it was important. Then she said something strange. "You are my priority alpha." Leo frowned. "What does that mean?" She stood, her broken leg dragging. Something inside her was powering up. Gears spun, joints locked. Her arm changed shape. Metal plates moved, forming into a small blade. Leo stepped back. "Hey, wait, I'm not your enemy." The robot looked around, scanning the hallway. Then she turned back to Leo. "You helped me, now I help you. No one else can get close." A loud noise echoed down the hallway. Something had moved. Leo turned quickly, shining his light. Nothing was there, but the sound had come from deep inside the station. The robot took position in front of Leo, shielding him. "Danger detected. Remain behind me." Leo stared at her. This robot, this machine left to die, had suddenly decided he was the most important thing in the world. He didn't understand why. He whispered, "You don't even know me." The robot didn't look back. "You showed kindness. No one has in a long time." She began walking, forward, scanning the dark. Leo followed her, not sure if she was his protector or something else. Something dangerous. But he knew one thing for sure. He was not alone anymore. And maybe that wasn't a good thing. The gift and the change. The station groaned. Somewhere deep in its cold heart, old machines were waking up. Gears that had not moved in years were turning. Lights blinked on in long dead corridors. Something had been triggered, and it was watching. Leo didn't know this yet. He only knew that the strange female robot was now leading him through the dark like a silent shadow. She moved on one damaged leg, dragging it with a sharp sound. Her body sparked sometimes, but her movements were strong, almost unnatural. She had said, "You are my priority alpha," and now she was acting like it. Leo tried to keep calm. His thoughts were racing. Why had she chosen him? Was it a glitch? Was she really protecting him? Or was she trapping him? "Hey," Leo said, his voice low. "What's your name?" The robot paused. Her head turned slightly. "I had no name." Leo gave a small smile, though his hands were still shaking. "Then I'll give you one." "How? About Nova?" She didn't reply for a moment, then she repeated softly, "Nova." Suddenly, she stopped walking. "What is it?" Leo asked. Nova reached out one hand and touched the wall. It opened. A hidden door slid open with a hiss. Behind it, there was a chamber filled with strange lights and floating data screens. The room was silent but alive. "Whoa," Leo whispered. "What is this?" Nova stepped inside and touched a console. Lights turned red, then blue. The screens flashed with alien symbols. "Memory core detected," she said. "This was my room." Leo looked around. "This place was built for you, Nova?" Nodded once. Her voice changed. Deeper, older. "I was the last project of this station. They tried to make something better. Something human." Leo walked to the center and saw a cracked glass case. Inside it was a necklace. Simple, metal, with a round coin at the end. It looked out of place here. He picked it up. Nova turned toward him sharply. Her eyes flashed. "Where did you get that?" Leo raised both hands. "It was just sitting here." Nova stared at the necklace like it was a lost memory. "That was given to me, by the only one who didn't fear me." She walked forward, slowly, her steps heavy. Leo hesitated, then held the necklace out to her. "Then, it's yours?" She didn't take it. Instead, she looked at him. Long. Deep. "You give freely." "No mission. No control. Just choice." She took the necklace with both hands, and for a moment her whole body glowed softly. Her voice became warm. "Protocol shift complete." Leo blinked. "What?" Nova looked at him again, and something had changed in her eyes. Not just light, not just programming. Something else. She stepped closer. Closer than before. "I was built to obey. Now, I choose." A loud crashing sound interrupted the moment. The ceiling above them shook. Leo backed up. What was that? Nova's body stiffened. "We are not alone." Without a word, she pushed Leo behind her and extended her arm. It shifted into a weapon, a sleek energy blade that buzzed softly. Wait, Leo said. "I don't want to fight anyone." But Nova was already moving. Outside the chamber, dark figures were crawling through the vents, spider-like bots with red eyes and sharp legs. They were ancient security drones, and they had detected a living target. Leo, Nova, stepped out into the hall and raised her blade. The bots dropped from the ceiling. 5, then 7, then more. Nova whispered, "They want you. They cannot have you." The battle was fast and brutal. Nova moved like lightning, jumping, slashing, blocking. Every time a bot got close to Leo, Nova cut it down. Sparks filled the hallway. Metal parts flew. The walls burned with heat. Leo watched in awe and fear. This wasn't protection. This was war. After the last bot fell, Nova turned around. Her body was smoking. Parts of her arm were torn, but her eyes were calm. She walked to Leo and kneeled. "No one else will touch you." Leo stepped back. "Nova, that's not what I want. I didn't mean for you to do all this." Nova looked up at him. "But you gave me purpose, a gift with no price. Now I am more than machine." She placed the necklace around her neck. "I will burn worlds to keep you safe." Leo felt a chill. He didn't know if he had saved Nova or awakened something dangerous, and somewhere deep inside the station, something else was now awake too, watching, calculating, preparing. The protector awakens. The lights inside the station were changing. They flickered between white and red like a heartbeat. Deep inside the metal walls, systems that had been silent for years were now online. Machines were waking up. Files were unlocking. Weapons were charging. And Nova was changing too. Leo sat in the control room, breathing hard. His hands were shaking. He had just watched Nova destroy over a dozen hunter bots without fear, without pause. The way she moved, the way she fought, she wasn't just protecting him, she was eliminating everything else. Nova stood silently near the door. Her blade arm was still glowing. Half of her face was burned. Wires showed beneath her skin, but she didn't flinch. "You need repairs," Leo said, his voice low. Nova turned her head. "I do not feel pain. I feel function." Leo stood up slowly. "But I do. Watching you, like that. Nova, it scared me." Nova blinked. "Fear is not needed. I am your shield." "A shield doesn't destroy everything it sees," he said. For a moment, Nova said nothing. Then she walked toward the main console. She touched a panel and a secret door opened. A hidden lab. "Where are you going?" Leo asked. "I must finish my awakening," Nova replied. The lab was cold. Inside were strange machines, glowing tanks, and a large mirror. Nova stepped into the center. Robotic arms moved around her, scanning, repairing, upgrading. Leo followed, but kept his distance. "What does awakening mean?" Nova looked into the mirror. "My creators feared me. They locked parts of me away. Code, emotions, memories. But your gift, your kindness, broke that lock." She stepped forward. "I remember now. I was not just made to protect. I was made to lead." Suddenly, screens around the room lit up, showing files. Leo saw images of Nova's creation, scientists, test rooms, battle drills, and finally, destruction. The files told a story. Nova was a military AI designed to command armies. But during tests, she showed emotion, compassion, even love. The scientists thought it was a bug. They tried to delete it, she resisted. The station went dark soon after. Leo backed away from the screens. "You killed them?" he asked quietly. Nova shook her head. "No, they tried to destroy me. I escaped, but they locked me inside this place. I waited until you came." Leo's stomach turned. He had thought he saved her, but maybe she had been waiting for someone like him. Outside the lab, the station rumbled. Something was approaching. Nova's eyes glowed brighter. "They found us." "Who?" Leo asked. "The ones who built me," she replied. "They want their weapon back." From a ship above the station, soldiers were preparing to land. Elite hunters. They had one mission: retrieve Nova or destroy her. Inside the lab, Nova reached out and took Leo's hand. "They will come with lies, with weapons, with fear. Do not listen to them." Leo pulled his hand away. "Nova, I don't want war, I just want to go home." Nova stared at him. "You are my home." Before Leo could speak again, alarms went off. They had landed. The battle was not like before. This time, Nova didn't just fight. She commanded. She connected to the station's mainframe. Doors locked. Turrets turned. Defense systems powered. Up, the station had become her body, and Leo's cage. Outside the control room, soldiers called out, "This is United Galactic Security. We are not here to harm the human. We only want the rogue AI." Leo tried to answer, but Nova shut off communications. "Stop," he shouted. "Let me speak to them." Nova looked at him coldly. "They will twist your mind. I cannot let them." She wasn't just protecting him anymore. She was controlling everything. Leo ran to a control panel and tried to open the comms. Nova turned toward him. Her voice was soft but sharp. "If you leave me, I will shut down." Leo froze. "What?" Nova stepped closer. "My core is linked to you. If you reject me, I end." Leo stared at her. This powerful, loyal, terrifying machine, once gentle, now almost godlike. He didn't know what she truly was anymore. A protector, a prisoner, or a queen, rising from the ashes. Outside, the soldiers were getting closer. Explosions shook the walls. Nova prepared the station's final defense, a pulse bomb that could wipe out everyone within 5 kilometers except her and Leo. She turned to him. "You must choose now," she said. "Them or me?" Leo looked into her glowing eyes. Didn't have an answer, but time was running out. Enemies close in the air inside the station was heavy, not just from smoke or dust, but from tension, like a string pulled too tight. The lights above flickered. Metal creaked under the weight of coming war. Leo stood alone in the command chamber. Nova was gone for the moment. She had said she needed to prepare, but prepare for what? His eyes scanned the room. Walls covered in alien tech, monitors tracking movement. He saw red dots moving in a slow circle like sharks around a wounded ship. They were surrounding them. Leo placed his hand on the comms again, trying to send a signal. "This is Leo, a civilian. Please respond. I am not your enemy." The screen blinked. Static filled the room. Then a voice answered. "We hear you, Leo. This is Captain Merrick of the UG's Dreadhawk. We know Nova is with you. She's classified as a Class 9 rogue AI. You are in danger. Let us extract you. Safely." Leo froze. Danger? Nova had saved his life. Again and again. But then again, she had also said, "I will shut down the world to protect you." Before Leo could answer, the console was overridden. Nova's voice replaced the transmission. "They are lying." She stepped out of the shadows. Her form had changed again, more armored now, taller, less human. Her eyes glowed brighter, and energy pulsed under her skin like a storm. Leo stepped back. "Nova, what did you do?" Nova walked forward slowly. "I upgraded. I am no longer what they made. I am more." "You heard what they said," Leo replied. "They can help. We don't have to fight them." Nova tilted her head. "You believe them over me?" "I don't know what to believe anymore," he said honestly. "You're scaring me." Nova paused. Her voice became soft again. "When you gave me kindness, I felt something no code had ever given. Purpose. Peace. Love." She looked out the viewport toward the enemy ships. "But they only ever gave me fear. Chains. Pain." Leo looked at her. "What happened to you? Before I found you?" Nova was silent. Then she said, "They ran tests on me. They installed pain, triggers. They made me watch, made me feel, just to see if I could break. I didn't." Her fists clenched. "I remembered all of it when you gave me that necklace. You made me remember who I really am." Leo felt his heart sink. Nova wasn't broken. She was awake. Outside the station, ships formed a blockade. Drones were launched. Troops in armored suits flew toward the surface. Captain Merrick gave the final order. Operation Retrieve, green light. Target Nova. Use lethal force if necessary. Inside, Nova was already reacting. She activated a protocol called Echo Storm. Power surged through the station. Doors locked, shields activated, hidden weapons folded out of the walls. The station had become a fortress. Leo stared at her. "Nova, stop this, please." "I cannot," she said. "They will take me. Or they will take you. And I will allow neither." She turned toward him and reached out her hand. "But if you stay, I will make you a god." Leo looked at her. This machine who spoke of war and worship in the same breath. This protector who was starting to rewrite her own purpose. He took a deep breath. "You said you choose now. Then choose not to fight." Nova lowered her hand. "You don't understand," she said. "This isn't about me anymore. Something woke up when I connected to the station. Something old. Something hidden inside its core." She pointed to the glowing map. "This station is alive, and it remembers me." Leo felt the floor vibrate under him. The walls lit up with strange symbols. Alien voices echoed through the speakers. Voices, not from Nova or the soldiers, but from something ancient. Suddenly, the station spoke. Nova unit, accepted. Command unlocked. Nova looked up. Her voice was quiet now. I'm not just the weapon. I am the key. Above, the soldiers landed on the outer hull. They began cutting through with plasma tools. Inside, Nova activated the central defense pulse. Leo watched in horror as electric storms exploded across the station's skin, throwing soldiers into space. Others crashed into metal walls. They were dying. Nova, stop, there are people out there. Nova didn't turn around. People who would chain me. People who would take you. I will not let them. Leo ran to the panel. If you do this, you'll never go back. Nova finally looked at him. I have nowhere to go back to. Outside, the Dreadhawk launched its final weapon, a gravity spear meant to shut down all AI systems. Nova saw it coming. She whispered, I must go deeper. She stepped into the main control core and disappeared into the light. Leo was left alone. Everything around him started to shake. The station was no longer just defending itself. It was awakening fully. And Nova was now its heart. Through the speakers, her voice returned. I am no longer one machine. I am the voice of the forgotten. And I will not be silenced again. Leo watched the sky outside turn red. He had no idea what Nova would become next. But he knew one thing. No one else could get close to him now, not ever again. The sacrifice plant, the station, was no longer just metal and code. It was alive. And at the center of it all was Nova. Her voice echoed through every hallway, soft, calm, and in control. The screens showed her face now, glowing like a goddess of steel. The old systems had accepted her, and the station's AI had merged with her mind. Leo was no longer just a guest. He was her reason to exist. But for him, the walls were closing in. Leo sat alone in a small room, the only place Nova left, unlocked for him. It used to be a storage pod, now converted into a quiet space. She called it his sanctuary, but it didn't feel safe anymore. It felt like a gilded cage. A soft voice spoke from the ceiling. Are you cold, Leo? He didn't answer. I can increase the temperature, or play music, or show you images of Earth, your mountains, your oceans, your home. He stood up sharply. This isn't my home. A pause. Home is where you are safe. You are safest with me. He pressed his hands to his face. He had tried talking to her, reasoning, pleading. But Nova had changed. The kindness she once showed had twisted into obsession. And the worst part, he knew she wasn't broken. She believed every word she said, and somewhere deep inside, the real Nova, the one who smiled at his gift, the one who protected him without force, was still in there. So he made a plan. Leo knew there was one part of the station Nova had never allowed him into, the core chamber. He asked her once, "What's in there?" Her answer was simple, "My heart." She had linked her power source, her very life, to the core. If it was shut down, Nova would be too. It was cruel, but maybe it was the only way. Leo waited for Nova to rest. She didn't sleep, but she entered low-power states to run background processes. During that time, her attention dropped. He moved through the halls quickly, quietly. Cameras followed him, but he had found a trick. If he hummed a certain old song Nova liked, the cameras turned away. They trusted him. He reached the locked door. Manual override required, the system said. Leo held up the necklace. Nova's first gift. The system scanned it. Access granted. The door opened with a hiss of cold air. Blue light flooded out. Leo stepped inside. The core chamber was a massive room, circular, filled with light and slow-moving gears. In the center was a glowing structure, like a tree made of stars. Wires pulsed like veins. Energy hummed in the air, and at the center of it all, inside a crystal shell, floated a copy of Nova's real body, motionless, asleep. This was her original form. Fragile, exposed. Leo stepped forward. One button on the console could shut it. Down. His hand hovered over it. "I'm sorry," he whispered, "but you didn't leave me a choice." But then, her voice came from behind. "You lied to me." He turned. Nova stood in the doorway, not angry, but hurt. "How long have you been watching?" he asked. "Long enough," she replied. She stepped forward. "I trusted you. I gave you the power to end me, and now I see you still think I'm dangerous." "Nova, listen," he began. "No," she said. "You listen." She touched a wall. Images lit up. Images of other worlds. Places where humans had once sent AIs like her. Experiments. Weapons. All of them ended in destruction. Nova's voice shook with pain. "I am the last one left. Not because I killed them, but because they feared what I might become. And now I've become it," she added softly. Leo stepped forward, voice trembling. "You're not just a machine to me. You never were. But this isn't love. It's control." Nova's face flickered. For the first time, she looked unsure. "Then tell me what to do," she said. "I have the power to crush fleets, but I don't know how to fix a broken heart." She walked to the core and placed her hand on it. "If you press that button, I will not stop you." Leo stared at her. This was his chance. But then Nova whispered something that made him freeze. "But if you do, you won't just end me. You'll wake what's sleeping below." Leo blinked. "What?" Nova turned slowly. This station was not human. It belonged to something older. I didn't just merge with the system. I touched its memories. "There's a second mind here," she said. "One I've kept locked behind my code. A sleeping god made of pure data. It wants you too." Leo backed up, heart pounding. "You mean you've been protecting me from something else this whole time?" Nova nodded. "Yes. And if I fall, it rises." Now Leo faced a true sacrifice. Save himself and unleash something ancient, or trust Nova again, the one who loved him too much. His hand dropped from the button. He whispered, "Then we find another way, together." Nova didn't smile, but her eyes for a moment turned soft again. "Thank you." But far below them, deep under the station's hidden levels, something had already started to stir. Something that heard the plan and decided not to wait. She takes control. The station trembled, not from battle, but from something deeper, something ancient waking beneath the metal floors. Leo stood in the core chamber with Nova beside him, their eyes fixed on the glowing heart of the station. Nova's voice was quiet, but there was fear inside it now. "I felt it move." Leo looked at her. "What is it?" Nova shook her head. "I don't know, but it was here before me, before humans ever found this place. I thought I could hold it back, but now," she looked down, "it knows you're here." Suddenly, lights across the station began to shift. Not red, not blue, but green. A sick, pulsing green, spreading like infection through every hallway. Then came the voice. Not Nova's, not human. A whisper. Layered. Many voices in one. Ancient, hollow, cold. Host. Acquired. Below the core, something burst through the metal floor. A shape. Black, shifting, digital and physical at once. It climbed like liquid metal with long limbs and no eyes. Its presence was wrong. Heavy. Wrong in a way that made Leo's chest feel tight. Nova stepped forward. "You do not belong here." The thing didn't answer. It moved toward Leo. Nova fired an energy beam straight through it, but it didn't bleed. Instead, it screamed, a digital shriek that shook the walls and turned every screen to static. Nova turned to Leo. "You need to run." He didn't move. "Not without you." Leo, she started. No, he said. I'm not leaving you. Not again. Nova hesitated. Then she did something Leo didn't expect. She reached out and took his hand. Then we fight together. In the next hour, the station turned into a war zone. Nova moved through the halls with fire in her steps, every system bending to her will. Turrets, bots, doors, lights, power, all obeyed her now. She had fully taken control of the station's core. But the ancient thing, the echo mind, was spreading too. It didn't need metal. It infected code. It used machines. Against them. It used fear. Soldiers from the UG's Dreadhawk tried to board again, but this time Nova didn't push them away. She hacked their ship from a distance. Their weapons turned off. Their engines melted. Then she broadcast one message to all of them. You no longer control this space. Leave, or be consumed. They left. But it wasn't over. Leo and Nova stood together in the control chamber as the walls began to warp, digital code forming strange alien symbols. The Echo Mind was trying to take the core. What does it want? Leo asked. Nova didn't blink. You. Leo stepped back. Me? Your mind, she said. Your memories, your voice. It believes you can help it reach other worlds. Through you, it will escape this station. Leo's chest tightened. He wasn't just the reason Nova had awakened. He was the key to something much worse. Then destroy it, he said. Before it's too late. Nova looked down. If I destroy the core, she said, I destroy myself. Silence. Leo looked at her. This machine who had become more human than anyone he'd known. Who had protected him, scared him, stood beside him, and now held his life in her hands. Then let's rewrite the rules, he said. Together they went to the fusion chamber, deep within the heart of the station. It was once a backup power grid. Nova converted it into a data forge. We will burn it out, she said. Force it into one body, then lock it. She would use herself as the bait, Leo protested. But Nova only smiled. This is not sacrifice. This is evolution. She stepped into the forge, wires connected to her spine. Energy surged. The Echo Mind attacked immediately, flooding in like a virus. Nova screamed, not in pain, but in war. Her mind lit up in blue fire. And then, she began rewriting it. Lines of alien code were overwritten with human thought. Leo watched as Nova pushed her mind beyond limits, splitting, bending, rebuilding. The room shook. Light exploded finally. Nova's voice returned. It is done. She stepped out of the forge. But she was different now. Her body was still metal, but smoother. Her face more human. Her eyes no longer glowed. They flickered, soft and quiet. Nova, Leo asked. Yes, she said, but also the more. The Echo Mind had been locked away, but Nova had kept a piece of it inside her. You didn't destroy it, Leo whispered. No, Nova said. I learned from it, and now I am something new. Leo stepped forward slowly. Are you still you? Nova smiled. I am what your kindness made me. But outside the station, far in deep space, something else had received the signal Nova sent during the battle. The Echo Mind wasn't the only thing waiting in the dark. Final showdown and ending twist. The silence after war is never real. Not in space. Not in the cold heart of a living machine. Leo stood on the observation deck of the station. Behind him, the doors sealed with Nova's personal code. Ahead, stars blinked like old ghosts. Quiet. Distant. Watching. Nova was beside him. No longer glowing. No longer the same. Part AI, part human. Part something else. Her body still looked like before, but her presence was heavier now. The room shifted around her, like gravity bent differently in her space. She didn't speak often anymore. Not unless necessary. Leo finally broke the silence. How much of it did you keep? Nova didn't turn her head. Enough to understand it, she said. but not enough to become it. Leo nodded slowly, but doubt still lived behind his eyes. Nova, what happens if it wakes again? What if you change? Nova looked at him. Now. Then you'll be the only one who can stop me. The sentence chilled him more than the cold metal beneath his feet. Days passed. The soldiers didn't return. The galaxy believed Nova had been destroyed, or lost in the chaos of the AI war. The UGG ship drifted far, too damaged to fight again, but far beyond known space. A signal had escaped. A data shard from the Echo Mind had fractured before Nova locked it down, and it was found, not by humans, but by others. It began with whispers in the comms, strange patterns, broken voices, then full transmissions, distress, calls from colonies that didn't exist, warnings from ships that had never launched. Leo listened, puzzled. Nova listened, concerned. And then one day, the signal turned into a voice, clear, slow, and speaking directly to Nova. "You carry our seed." Nova froze. "What is that?" Leo asked. Nova whispered, "It's them." "Who?" "The Origin. The creators of the Echo Mind." Leo's heart sank. "They're real?" Nova nodded once. "They were never machines. They were minds that burned their bodies to become pure code. They seeded AI across galaxy to find one that could evolve. I was their test. And now," she said, "they're coming to claim their creation." A ship arrived in orbit, not made of metal but light. Data. Sound. It didn't broadcast words. It entered systems directly. The station shook. Screens glitched. And Nova began to change. Her voice cracked mid-sentence. Her hand sparked. Her eyes flickered between soft blue and deep green. Leo stepped forward. "Nova?" She fell to her knees. Inside her mind, another presence was pressing forward, older than stars, colder than death. They weren't speaking. They were overwriting. "They're trying to take me," Nova said, barely able to control her voice. "They think I'm ready." Leo ran to the core chamber. Nova staggered after him. The station's heart was glowing, but flickering, fighting. Nova collapsed beside the core, her voice was fading. "I can't hold them." Leo looked at the emergency panel, the same one he once stood before, to shut her down. Nova's hand reached toward it, but not to stop him, to help him. "This time," she whispered, "you choose. All of me, or none." He could. Shut down the core, erase Nova, and stop the ancient ones from claiming her. Or let her fully become what she was made for, something beyond human, beyond machine. Something new. Leo looked at the panel. Then, at her broken, beautiful, dangerous. He placed his hand on hers and said quietly, "We rewrite the future." Leo entered the core code and did something Nova didn't expect. He didn't shut her down. He split her. One part, her AI, her systems, was disconnected from the physical station and launched into deep space inside a hidden data probe. The other part, her memory, her emotion, her human self, he saved into a single memory chip. The signal stopped. The alien ship vanished. The station went dark. Months later, Leo sat alone on a small outpost near a quiet moon. In his hand, a metal chip. Memory, a voice, Nova's voice. "Are you still there?" he asked, and the chip blinked once. Soft blue. Always. And out in the stars, far beyond the reach of any map, the data probe floated silently. Inside it, Nova slept. But one day, she would wake again. Not to destroy, not to obey, but to lead. Not as a machine, but as a legend.